Welcome back. We're pleased to have in studio Sky Calveloa, the UH Manoa Esports Program Director. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Sure, and he's just fresh back from a pretty big award just recently. Tell us about what UH has been recognized with.
UH has been recognized with distinction as being the best collegiate program in the United States, perhaps even globally. And it is an award that I'm very humbled to have received, very excited about it, and we wanted to share it with everybody.
Well, congratulations. Yes. That is huge news. Now, esports wasn't in people's lingos even a decade ago, and UH has been instrumental in making this happen. How have you really advanced the academic side of esports and extracurricular side to really create this series of UH Manoa courses around it? Yeah,
so my role as director of UH Esports is really to figure out ways in which UH can shine academically within this context of esports. So I work with a task force of individuals that are creating courses, 3 to 5 courses in which we can create a credentialed experience around esports. And that is courses that specifically talk about esports. So that's a course that I teach at the School of Communications, but there's also courses that are around PR, marketing, business development, and that's the goal, is to move in that direction as we create this experience.
Sure, and we're saying esports, but for the uninitiated, we're talking about video games played at a high level, essentially, right?
Yes, exactly. So, I think for all of us, we played video games with friends, family, brothers and sisters. We never necessarily called it esports, but now that we have this term in our vocabulary, it really is about an industry. And so that word esports is not just talking about things in a competitive sphere, but really talking about the entire ecosystem, which is the teams, the organizations, but also the broadcasters and streamers and the entire content creation industry itself. That's essentially what constitutes esports.
And it's a huge industry. We're talking billions of dollars, even just from one manufacturer alone, which brought this Overwatch event to Hawaii during COVID. Can you tell us briefly what that was and why that really helped to put you on the map even more?
Yeah, so the Overwatch League, which is a league that was created by Activision Blizzard, is a league that is one of the biggest in esports itself, and they actually came to our campus 5 different times to have us hold their 5 tournaments. It's a significant, and it's actually unprecedented, really, to have this type of partnership between a AAA publisher, a very big video game publisher, and a college. And we were able to turn this into a set of internships, and that's what the Esports Awards is recognizing.
And you're making all of these connections. When you talk about internships, and people might think, okay, you're saying esports, does that mean just a player, just a programmer, or is it all kinds of jobs that you could interface as an intern and a future employee as?
Yeah, I think that's the key point here, is that I think the word esports, when we think about it, we think about the competitors and the players. But really, that's just the tip of the iceberg. The entire gambit, or the entire scope of what esports and an collegiate esports program can offer is really an array of roles in which students can try to understand or figure out what is a good fit for them. And so, of course, competitor is something that we always support, and if we have players who want to go professional, we'll definitely support them as best as we can. But we know that that really is a fraction of the entire student population that can reach those heights. And so my role as a director here is to say, what, if you can't make it as a competitor, guess what? You can do content creation, media production, you can do player support, you can do coaching, you can be an analyst, you can do web development. Really, again, like any other industry, what they're learning, what the students are learning in the UH Esports program are talents and skills that can be brought to other companies. And that's, I think, a key point here, is that, yes, they can create an entire industry here that's related to esports, but they also can work for a Tesla, an Apple, a Microsoft, a Google, because the skills that they have are very transferable in those industries.
Oh, I think a lot of kids on Christmas break sitting around playing the video games are seeing, see, Mom, I can make a living doing
exactly.
this. What do you want to say to those kids and parents alike who may say, what, you can make a living doing this? How much income can a top player in esports make, and how realistic is that?
Yeah, the top players can make millions, both as a salary and for prize money and for endorsements. But again, that is the 1 of the 1%. Again, my role with esports in higher education is to say, yes, you can do what you're doing, but if you don't make it, here is a menu of different options in which you can work in the industry and flourish inside and out.
Good to have a backup plan while you shoot for the top.
Absolutely.
Well, Sky, thank you so much for your time and all your exciting things you're doing with that program.
Thank you very much.
All right. And we'll send it back to you.